Hello, today I'm going to share what I channeled around the hurricane devastation and what's really going on and what we can do right now during this time and how to prepare moving forward. I'm a channel groups of cosmic beings that are here to help us on our human journey, and let's just get into it. Okay, so I have a whiteboard here. It helps me just keep track. All right, so I'm talking about Hurricane Helene and other weather events. I have in parentheses here Maui. Okay, these weather events are man-made or man-influenced, okay? And when I say man, I mean these are not natural. Now, what they showed me, and I didn't know this was possible, but I think most of us have heard that there's documents showing that they've been able to manipulate weather for decades, hundreds of years, really. But what I didn't know, what I channeled today, is that they can also take a natural event and enhance it. So something that would be relatively benign, they can turn it into something very, very catastrophic, which is what happened with Hurricane Helene, they said, okay? The dark wants to keep us dependent on them. It's time we break free. So part of what's going on here, besides, if you remember what happened last year in Maui, as far as my understanding is, and the the groups that I channeled, they reminded me that the government didn't come in and help. I think the families got $600 or $700 or something for all the devastation that happened. That's typical. That's going to be typical. We're not going to hear in the mass media what's really, really going on. We're going to hear just snippets, and anything you hear in the mass media is a manipulation, and it's being put out there on purpose. The people who own mass media, I cover a lot of this on this channel. There's 4 pillars of control that are collapsing right now around the globe, and the glue that holds together, one of the glues, is the media. They're all owned by this global pyramid structure. Okay, so we're not going to hear in the news what's really going on. We're only going to hear what they want us to know. So why is this devastation not being put out there? They want people dependent on them. So what they do, and my guides are saying this right now, is they go out and they create devastation. There is a term for this. They're reminding me. If you follow Out of the Matrix, Sean, he talks about this a lot. I think it's Tagalan dialect. No, I can't remember the term, but they create the problem and have a solution on hand, right, when chaos ensues. So this is what they do. They already have prepared for this devastation because they know that they're the ones creating it, and the people on the scene or any type of support that comes in is orchestrated, but ultimately, it doesn't ever even touch the surface of the repair that's needed because they want us dependent on them. This is all being done as a last-ditch effort. I'm going to get to that more in a minute. Last-ditch effort to keep us in fear, to control our minds and our emotions, which is how we create here, and keep them dependent on the system. If they can create a problem that creates such catastrophic damage that people are begging for support, they are now continuing to rely on the matrix, and it's difficult to escape. Okay, so I have here the dark. And I do lots of videos on this. The dark is in the last death throes. Go check out the series I did last month on the 7-part series called What in the Hell is Going On Around the World. I go into this more detail, okay? The chaos is going to continue for a while. So just like what they're showing is like this giant beast with arrows and swords they're showing this medieval scene of like this giant beast that's been shot at with arrows, it's been stabbed, but it's still going, and it's going to take a while for this beast to fall, okay? That's what's happening right now. It's going to continue for a while because the darkness is still operating. Now, a lot of the darkness has been removed, they're saying. I have an informal channeling on this, but a lot of the darkness has been removed. But just like if you take out the head of a colony, the colony will still continue for a while, right? Until they either find a new leader or they no longer are able to support themselves. So that's what's happening right now, is the dark is going to continue in its death throes to try and control us through our emotions, okay? So keep that in mind. Down here I have the direction I got on what to do. Envision the earth free. Envision it beautiful. Imagine community, unity. Stop feeding the system. That is primarily from emotion. Stop feeding the system with emotions. I know what's happening is devastating. I live in Oregon, and we have been onslaught with fires constantly, for years really, but for months and months, devastating fires. They're not putting it out. They're not talking about it. A lot of times there isn't even any attempts to stop it for a while. Many of them are orchestrated fires. Okay, so there's devastation happening everywhere, and we're not being told what's really going on because there is no plan to support. There is no plan to assist. Okay, so we have to stop funneling the system with our emotions. We have to watch and be careful about going into fear and anger and wanting vindication and justice, because that continues to feed the system. That is what they want. They want us to continue envisioning what they're putting out there, or us causing fear through sharing what's happening, and that allows us to be controlled. Okay, fear makes us easy to control. Okay. They showed me that people with life-changing money, okay, millionaires, billionaires, there are people who want to do good. I have seen that there are some of those people stepping up to help with the Hurricane Helene situation, but they're saying people with money that can really truly support, can help others. It's time to start rebuilding these communities. Okay, I'm gonna get into that more in a minute. Start rebuilding community free of government influence as much as possible. Creating sustainable communities where we're growing our own food, where we are dependent on each other, not the government. They want us dependent on them, okay? For the devastated areas, rebuild without dependence on government. Non-devastated areas, withdraw from the matrix, so less dependent on government or the dark. Okay, the government. I think most of us know by now that the government does not have our best interests in mind. Okay, it's been hijacked for a very, very, very long time. The dark has been ruling the planet for a very, very, very long time. And again, it's in its death throes now, but it's still going. So if we can withdraw from the system as much as possible and stop being dependent, paying in cash whenever you can. Again, growing your own food, bartering, trading, doing resale. You know, if you instead of buying new clothes, get together with people and swap or share, support small local exchanges, Goodwill, etc. Now, you know, a lot of these things are still have some type of government umbrella over them. But if we can withdraw from the largest systems, that's going to be supportive. Looking for natural healing modalities. There's a woman on here. I'm going to tag her. Her handle is called Your Mate Kate, I think. Anyway, she's sharing. She's got like 400,000 or 500,000 followers. She's sharing natural modalities for things that Western medicine is unable to help us with. Western medicine is not designed to fix the problem. It's all about making money. It's one of the 4 pillars of control. Okay, so if you can withdraw from the system as much as you can and start looking for natural healing solutions, okay, versus supporting the government or the 4 pillars of control that are controlling us. Okay. Connect to your higher self for personal guidance. There is a free guide on my website. Now, when you connect your higher self for guidance, I have a lot of clients that will reach out to me and say that the more they do it, the more addicted to it they become. Addicted is probably not the right word, but once you learn how to discern your higher self's guidance and you start going to your higher self for guidance, who will always have your best interests in mind and knows your life blueprint and knows your soul contracts with caregivers, partners, and children, and everyone else in your life and your experiences. That's one of my favorite things to channel one-on-one for clients. Check out my website if you want to know more about that. When we connect to our higher self, we're being guided outside of the matrix. We're being guided by higher powers that are not influenced by any of this stuff. And their sole job, your higher self's sole job, is to move you through life with as much ease and grace as possible. Connect your higher self and say, what am I being asked to do? You might be asked to do something small for your neighbor. You might be asked to move. You might be asked not to move. But instead of looking out there and seeing what's on social media and the news, turn off the news. Turn off all TV if you can, okay? This guidance comes in constantly. Instead of going out there and allowing that to just determine your steps and taking steps from fear, go to your higher self. Your higher self will guide you. I'll give an example. We were planning on living out of the country for several months starting this winter, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen. And on one hand, we're very disappointed because we've been planning on this for a while. But on the other hand, I know, and my higher self says, I don't know. My brain cannot comprehend what's coming or what's going on. We have been told to sit in place, which is not at all what I have been planning for several years. So your higher self is going to guide you. Now, if I wasn't listening to my higher self, I would push through and go where I've been planning on going for several years, but that could be a place that could be impacted by devastation, or it could be maybe not safe at that time. Whatever it is, your higher self has insight about everything that's going on. Your higher self, your higher guidance, wisdom, channeling source or connecting with source, God, creator, whatever you call your higher power. It's always going to guide you to your highest good, okay? And then lastly, I have a membership community. I'm actually working on it right now, getting all the pieces together over the next 2 months. It's for New Earth. It's for a New Earth collective. It's for people who want to start creating the New Earth, who want to start living from a New Earth mindset and remove themselves from the fear, remove themselves from being controlled by the fear, and who want to be part of the solution. I have hundreds of clients that are here for the New Earth. I'm going to be sharing some stories here in the next couple of videos. This community is to bring like minds together. When 2 or more are gathered, there is much power in that. In fact, they're reminding me here, we have the ability to manipulate the weather through our thoughts. We have the ability to manipulate and help change weather events. We're that powerful. Okay, the Native Americans and other tribes around the world know this, and they actually take part in this. And I've watched shows about this on Gaia, but they're telling me this right now. We have the ability to do that. So envision peace, envision calm, and envision the world that you want, which is why it's one of the first things that they talked about here, these groups of beings. Envision what you want, okay? If there is a devastating event coming, for all of you out there that hear about something that's devastating, immediately begin envisioning no destruction, envision peace, envision it passing without harming anyone. We have the ability to manipulate that. We haven't been told that we have because they don't want us to have any power, but we are that powerful, okay? So envision what you want. Sign up for the community on my website. When you go to the website, the first pop-up is going to be to sign up to be notified of things, including the community. And then the last thing that here they have is hold the vibration of love. This is critical. Get out of fear. Hold the vibration of love. I know it's hard. They're saying, they've been asking me to say this for a while and I keep forgetting. For anybody who has watched the movie Seven, it's an old movie, 30 years old with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. And it's about someone who is unaliving people based on the 7 deadly sins. And at the very, very end of the movie, I'm just going to give you the spoiler alert. At the very end of the movie, Brad Pitt is given the option to become the 7th deadly sin or withhold and not allow this serial unaliver to have his way. And in the end, his emotions overcome him and he becomes the 7th deadly sin. They're saying that's what's happening here. We have to withdraw from becoming what it is that we're trying to stop. So hold the vibration of love. Turn off the TV, turn off the news, and ask your higher self to guide you and take action, because each one of our guidance points is going to be different. Depending on where we're at, depending on how we're able to influence, and depending on our background, depending on our skills and our gifts, we're each going to be asked to do something differently. We're only going to know if we connect to our higher self. Get the free website or free download on my website. Please drop your questions and comments. How does this land? And I'll see you in the next video.